Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. It's just about 8:30 Central Time. Thank you all for tuning in. We are tracking severe weather warnings, tracking through the heart of the tri-state right now. Obviously, our main focus is on this tornado warning storm that's popped up here. Right now, we have the tornado warning in place for Posey County here in Indiana. This will be in effect here until 9 o'clock Central Time. And let me get to the rest of the, we have the, actually, excuse me, we have a tornado warning for southern Posey County, west central Henderson County in Kentucky, and Union County in Kentucky. This is the portion of the storm where we have the rotation until 8:45 for you guys. So let's look on the storm right now. This is a very dangerous storm. The potential is there for hail up to golf ball size. You can see right now where all this high reflectivity is. This is likely hail falling within the storm. And right now, Mount Vernon is under the guidance of Posey County there. You're likely seeing some tremendous large hail. And the same goes for northern Union County right now and into northwest Henderson County, Kentucky. Likely seeing some very large hail. And also we have rotation and even some reports of let me get to the rotation on the radar to kind of get a look at things here. And there's certainly rotation here, a good amount of rotation showing up. We have the greens going toward the radar site, the reds away from the radar site. We have this tight turning here. We have rotation, again, the rotation where there could be a tornado. If there is a tornado with the storm, it's right now, it's just on the north side of Uniontown. But I don't want to be so specific that I, say, Uniontown, I would be in shelter if I were you, just to play safe. And Mount Vernon, this rotation is heading your way. So just be aware of that. And if you're watching from the Evansville area, even Henderson, this area right here is going to be looking at this rotating thunderstorm heading your way with a potential of a tornado heading your way here over the next, let's say, half hour or so as the storm moves off to the northeast. So let's go back to the base reflectivity now. Again, if you're wondering where the tornado warning is, this is where it's at in this red box. We have northern Union County, northwest Henderson County, the southern part of Posey County and Indiana. 8:45 Central Time, and that warning will likely be expanded as the storm moves further off to the east. We're seeing hail at the golf ball site with the storm. And let me expand out. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in place to the north over the working volume on this here before I go real quick. It looks like the volume is working, so it looks like we're live. Just wanted to double check there. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in place up here to the north of Evansville for very large hail potential with this storm. And look, the severe thunderstorm warning is in place for eastern Gibson County, potential for hail up to golf ball size. This is moving near Princeton, Indiana. So if you live in Princeton, just be aware you're likely seeing some very large hail with this thunderstorm, especially off to your south here, and even in Oakland City. You're going to be seeing that large hail, and down in Somerville, Indiana as well. There in southern Gibson County and into southern Pike County, I should say, in Indiana. So we thunderstorms here that we are watching. Obviously, let's focus on the storm right here and just west and southwest of Evansville. Again, it looks like this will be affecting the Evansville metro very shortly. We have that tornado warning in place for Posey, the southern part of Posey County, west central Henderson County, and north central portions of Union County, Kentucky. So if you live in these areas, you need to be in shelter right now, the lowest level of your home, away from windows, away from doors, and the most center portion of your home. Obviously, don't worry about southwest corner, northeast corner, or anything like that. Just get in the center part of your home. And again, please make sure you're taking this warning seriously because there is a good amount of rotation with the storm. Again, potential is there for a tornado warning or for a tornado to be occurring right now with this thunderstorm. And let me look at some of the reports coming in to see if there's any changes to what we're seeing. Seeing the live reports coming in here. And okay. Okay, sorry, I believe the screenshot's not showing yet here. Let me see. Okay, I'm now screen sharing. Okay, we are live, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize for the screen not showing. I was not aware of that, but hopefully we're all good to go now. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we now hopefully are showing the screen now. We have a tornado warning that we are tracking here in southern Posey County, northern Union County, and northwest Henderson County in Kentucky. This is until 8:45 Central Time. Well, let's look at where the area of rotation is right now on the radar. Going to the base velocity, the rotation is a little more broad than it was, but there is still certainly a rotation within the storm and a potential for a tornado to be occurring right now. This would be between Uniontown, Kentucky, which is right along that Ohio River, and Mount Vernon, which is also there along the Ohio River in Indiana. Right in here is where the potential tornado would be right now, based on the radar scans. And looking at the picture right now, potential is there for golf ball sized hail with the storm, and also the potential of a tornado with the storm as it continues to track to the east northeast. Let's look at cities that will be in the path of the storm. Evansville, you're seeing that heavy rain push in now, and you're going to be in the path of this tornado warned storm. So as long as the storm continues to show rotation, Evansville Metro, I would be prepared. You're probably going to get under a tornado warning, and at the very least a severe thunderstorm warning with this storm pretty shortly as it moves off to the northeast and heading your way. And in Henderson as well, you will also be in that path for that potential as well. So we need to keep a very close eye on the storm and the changes over the next several minutes, because these things can change fairly quickly. But we are certainly seeing just a very good signal here for large hail, and obviously that potential for a tornado to be dropping out of this thunderstorm. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning to the north of Evansville. This is really just for some large hail. This is for eastern Gibson County. We have parts of Pike County included here as well. Could see some large hail around quarter size, maybe a little bit larger as well. Again, radar estimating about 1-inch diameter size, so about quarter size, and that will be heading towards Jasper, Indiana. But looking at the wider picture, we've had these thunderstorms. Just one that really erupted here right over the central part of the tri-state. This moved from Saline counties, Gallatin counties, now it's into Posey County now, and Union counties in Kentucky. And the storm is continuing to head to the northeast. It's a very dangerous storm, and it's obviously the strongest storm we have on the radar right now. And let's take a look at what we're seeing as far as rotation. Let me get to the base velocity on here now. We're still seeing that rotation right here. If you're watching me anywhere in these warning areas, even Mount Vernon, you need to be in your shelter right now, the lowest level of your home, away from windows, away from doors. Again, don't worry about southwest corner, northeast corner, or anything like that. You need to be in the most interior portion of your home. The more walls between you and the outside, the better. And if there is a tornado with the storm, which there definitely could be, between Uniontown and Mount Vernon, Uniontown, Kentucky here, and Mount Vernon, Indiana. Here's the rotation. We've got the Ohio River right here. We've got the line here between Henderson County and Union County. So this tornado would be pushing now into northwest Henderson County. So you need to be in your shelter right now, anywhere in this warning area. And again, this warning will be in place until 8:45, but we're going to probably see it expanded towards Evansville. So Vanderburgh County, parts of northern Henderson County as well. Please be close alert here, because this storm, it's a dangerous storm and it's heading your way. We have potential here for hail size over 1 inch in diameter, and a potential for a tornado with this storm. And going back to the just a basic radar picture now, we're watching very closely because it has that hook with it. We've got that spin, that rotation. So there is that potential here for this supercell to be producing a tornado. We have that rotation on the radar. Again, right here is where that's taking shape, and this is heading off to the east northeast. And if we track that to the northeast, again, that's going to put areas like Evansville, Henderson in this zone, and a pretty dangerous area as the storm continues to move off to the northeast. Certainly some highly populated regions that could be in the path of this dangerous thunderstorm. Again, Mount Vernon, Indiana here. We have probably some very large hail with the storm, all of southern Posey County right now, and even into Vanderburgh County. You're seeing the heavy rain now. You're seeing that very ominous storm moving in your way. And again, this tornado warned storm is heading towards the Evansville Metro. So if you've got friends and family here, I would give them a call and just say, hey, just letting you know you've got a tornado warning heading your way. Probably be a good idea to stay weather aware. And as soon as that warning's issued, seriously, take shelter. Don't ride and look for the tornado. That's very, very, very silly to do when you're dealing with a potentially life-threatening storm. You've got to get in your shelter. You've got to do what's right, and you just obviously better to be prepared than to be sorry. We also have additional thunderstorms that are developing here over Illinois. All of these will have the potential for hail with them. They're showing that sign here. So we have additional thunderstorms, but these aren't overly concerning at the moment. Right now, by all means, let's focus on what's important here. We have this dangerous storm here just to the west and southwest of Evansville. Again, I do not like the track of the storm at all because this is going to put highly populated areas in a zone for a dangerous storm here. Again, I can't say for sure whether this thing is actually producing a tornado on the ground, but it's something, it has the potential. Again, it doesn't matter. You need to take it as if this was a tornado on the ground heading your way. So areas like Caborn here, Posey County, you need to be aware that there's a tornado warning storm heading your way. I would go ahead and get in that shelter just to be safe here. Heading into the Evansville metro here, we have heavy rain. We've got some hail likely now to the west of Evansville. And again, this is heading right your way, so you need to be aware of this. Let's look at the latest velocity scan. I want to see how that rotation is looking. And let me get to the base velocity here. Picture, but you can get the idea that there's still that rotation right in here. So now it's in northwest Henderson County. So this is where the tornado would be right now. If it's on the ground, I can't say for sure. And obviously when it's nighttime, this makes it really difficult to really, let me see what's going on here. Okay, looks like my feed is on here, so that's good. I just wanted to make sure. So again, that rotation, here's Mount Vernon, Indiana, just to your south. You've got that rotating portion of the thunderstorm, and that is going to push it in here into southern and southeast parts of Posey County. Again, that northern and northwest portion of Henderson County, you need to be in your safe spot right now, taking shelter. And eventually, you can see this is going to put Vanderburgh County, Indiana, in a spot here where you're going to be in the path of this tornado warning storm. About northern Henderson County, just please be on alert here that this storm is heading your way. So let's go back to the base reflectivity now. And again, right now that warning just, it's actually not sure if they canceled any tornado warning or whether they're just getting ready to issue a new one. We'll see what happens here shortly. But this storm, regardless, has very large hail with it heading towards into the Evansville area now. And we've had that rotation showing up with the storm right here again in northwest Henderson County. This is just south of Mount Vernon, Indiana. And let's see, right now, I'm going to see if a warning is popping up with the storm. And, you know, let me say this right off the bat here. We have an unfortunate limitation here this evening in that the Evansville radar, which would be very useful for this storm, that radar is actually down right now. It's not working. So unfortunately, we can't get a super clear scan of the storm. So that is also really going to affect the way we can really gauge this storm as far as the, you know, the details, as far as the actual rotation. And the radar beam, we're using the Paducah radar, which is down here, there in McCracken County, Kentucky. And the thing about the radar beam is the farther away you get from it, you're looking, that radar tilts in altitude the farther away you go from the radar site. So we're looking farther up in the storm. We're looking towards, say, the middle and upper levels of the storm. So that does give us a limitation here in how accurately we can define the storm. But the good news is right now, we actually don't have any warning, it appears, for the storm. Let's see how the rotation is looking. It appears some of that rotation has become more broad here with the last couple of scans, so that is some good news. But I do imagine we may see another warning issued shortly. Let me go to a different view here. Also have some different interactive radars I've kind of pulled up so you can get another view of this since the Evansville radar is down. Again, Evansville, you're seeing this heavy thunderstorm moving into your area now. It's in Posey County. You're seeing that heavy rain and a potential for hail. And again, this is going to put it into the Evansville area. And right now, storm. And I don't know if they're going to issue a new, but let me kind of zoom back out here. Let's get back to this radar picture and go back to the base reflect. Let me go to a wider picture first off so you can see what we have going on. Let me loop this and show you what's been going on the past several hours here. Okay, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for parts of Vanderburgh County and a new tornado warning as well. Okay, so I spoke to, or actually that was from earlier, excuse me. So let's go back to the past several radar scans. You see how the storm really has some tightening up in rotation here. Really wrapped up here in parts of Gallatin counties. You know, it could, whether or not we had a tornado on the ground, but that would have been across parts of Gallatin County there in Illinois. That storm is pushed into northern Union County, southern Posey County. And again, at the very moment, we have seen some weakening with the storm. The rotation is not as intense as it was. It's very broad. So now we do not have a tornado warning with the storm. So that is very, very good news. I don't know if that's going to continue, but we do have at least some good news at the moment, and that warning was dropped. Kind of looking at what were additional storms developing over southern Illinois, southeast Missouri. And it looks like this zone and through here, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and along the Ohio River, this zone right here, even northwest Kentucky, by all means, you're still going to be in play as well, for those additional storms to line up and just continue to develop in the next several hours. I think these thunderstorms that you're seeing here in Missouri are going to blossom and become much more impressive once we get to, say, 9, 10, 11 o'clock this evening. We're probably going to see the radar really explode here over Illinois and Missouri, and those are going to head up into southwest Indiana and potentially clipping at least parts of Kentucky as well. So let's go to the new radar scan right now. Let's look at where any warnings are in place. Here's the good news. We do not actually have a warning now for this storm. We'll see what happens here over the next several minutes, because these things can change very quickly. So take the storm off guard and we don't have to worry. It means that for now it's had some weakening trend below severe limits, but there's still Mount Vernon, Indiana. You're live update again. For some reason, the feed ended. I don't know why that happened. Technology is beyond me here. But anyway, let's share the screen here again. So hopefully you can see what I'm showing you now. Okay, so we should let me, hold on. Okay. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. We're doing another live update here. The feed went down for some reason here a moment ago. Let's take a look at the storm here in the Evansville area. This is the same storm that parts of Gallatin counties. We did have some good rotation when it moved through that area in Illinois, and as it pushed into parts of southwest Posey County, northern Union County, the rotation has really diminished, which is great news as it does push into the Evansville area now. But we're still looking at a strong storm, a lot of lightning, very torrential rain. I don't want to diminish the fact that there could be some flash flooding with this thunderstorm. If you drive in areas that tend to flood easily, yeah, be aware that there could be some pretty good, and we have potential for hail. A good 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So I mean, that's still some pretty significant hail. So it's really just kind of borderlining that severe weather criteria right now. But technically, 1 inch diameter criteria. It used to be actually 3/4 of an inch, but several years ago that was actually changed to 1 inch would be the requirement. And also another good hail core showing up here around New Harmony. This is in the kind of the White and Posey County line here along that Wabash River, seeing a pretty good hail core. Look out for some hail with that storm. Could see a warning with that shortly. We'll have to see what happens here. Now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Dubois County and the parts of Orange County, Indiana. Let me make sure my up here. I know we've had some issues with the feed trying to get off here. Let's see. Make sure it's still going. Okay, it looks like I'm still up. Just wanted to make sure. So you guys are still watching. Okay, so let's go back to this storm in Dubois County. Jasper, Indiana, right now, you're under severe thunderstorm warning. Could see 60 miles per hour, and especially potential for some large hail with this storm. Radar is indicating hail right at about 1 inch now in diameter. This is on the west side of Jasper. And the severe thunderstorm warning includes all of a good part of central and eastern Dubois County, along US 231 here from Hayesville, Indiana, down to Jasper, Huntingburg. You're all included here in this warning. And this will head towards areas like Dubois, even Celestine. You're included in that warning as well. So any of my Southwest Indiana friends watching, just know that you are under severe thunderstorm warning. They're along Highway 56. This goes up into French Lick. We have Highway 45, 145 that goes down here into Southern Orange County. All of this area will have the potential for a strong storm with large hail and very gusty winds. So the severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect until 10:15 Eastern time. So keep in mind this part of the tri-state is in a different time zone. I know that could be confusing. Again, this area is in Eastern time, so it's 10:15 Eastern when that warning will expire for you. There's going to be a strong storm heading your way in West Bay, in French Lick, down into the southern part of that county there, the southwest part of Orange County. Strong storm is heading your way. Again, the radar showing a pretty good hail core there in Jasper down to Huntingburg, and this will be moving off to the east-northeast, moving at about 65 miles per hour. So it's a very fast mover. And looking at again, it looks like hail could be pretty large with this. It could produce some damage to vehicles and possibly some wind damage as well. So if you have a car parked outside, get it in a garage if you're in this warning. If you're watching me from French Lick and you have a car parked outside, get a tarp over it if you can. If you get a garage, that'd be great because you don't want to. Last thing you want is a windshield on a Friday night. Am I right? With big hailstones coming in. But Jasper's in the thick of it right now. And this will be heading again to the east-northeast. So western and the southwest part of French Lick, or Orange County, I should say, are going to see a strong storm heading your way. Okay, so let's kind of look at the wider picture now. We have this batch of strong storms here from Hobstadt. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. In the Somerville, Indiana, Oakland City. We have the southern part and central part of Pike County. We have all of Dubois County pretty much seeing a strong storm right now. Again, the only warning at the very moment is over Dubois County and southwest Orange County for the potential of large hail and damaging wind. Okay, so let's get back to the Evansville Metro now. Let me look at another radar view here. Make sure my screen's still working. Again, here's another kind of interactive radar. We'll kind of get a better look at the roads and, in its different areas that'll be impacted throughout the Evansville Metro. So let this kind of zoom in here. And, wow, I really zoomed in. That very heavy rain Airport right there, and they're in the downtown area. We got the University of Evansville. You're seeing that heavy rain moving right now. And then down around USI campus, you're seeing a potential for some small hail with this storm as well. Kind of looking at the Evansville metro area, you see Mesker Park Zoo, seeing that heavy rain. And kind of looking at the western part of Vanderburgh County, you're seeing the thick of it right now. Heavy rain, perhaps some small hail with the storm. At the very moment, we don't have a warning with this. This has kind of gone just below severe limit. It could change quickly, so just be mindful of that. This is one of those situations where this could quickly kind of ramp back up to severe, but we're just kind of in a moment here, severe limits. Again, we still have that heavy rain. Where you see the purple, that's where the radar is indicating those large objects there, and where it's likely some hail being indicated here. This will be on the west side of Evansville, and again, this really the heart of the Evansville area is going to be seeing that potential for at least some small hail and flash flooding with the storm. And kind of zooming back out here, Evansville just seeing that heavy rain at the very moment and some small hail with that storm. And we're going to look at additional storms now over Illinois. So let's go back to Illinois and look at those additional storms that are popping up. Okay, so let's zoom back out here. And I want to show you what's going on here in Illinois, because right now we just have some scattered thunderstorms. These could produce some small hail. Let's look at the areas seeing that right now. I don't want to leave any of you in Illinois out, so I want to make sure I kind of keep everybody in the loop here. So Carmi, you're not seeing much right now. Right, part of White County, you've got some on and off storms. This could be producing some small hail from New Haven, the Monty, into New Harmony, Indiana, and into the southwest we go. We've got some more storms around Galatia, into parts of let's see here. We've got Marion County here in southern Illinois. We have down into the US 57 corridor here. You're seeing some pretty good storms. Again, this is just south of Marion and Williamson County. I said Marion County. I meant the city of Marion, excuse me. And then going to the southwest, we have additional storms through the southwest part of that state and right into southeast Missouri as well. And these storms will be continuing to head off to the northeast. And we'll likely see those storms starting to strengthen over the next few hours. It looks like, let me kind of pinpoint the areas where I think the greatest concern is going to be over the coming hours. So we have this zone of storms setting up here. Now, we've got a pretty good cap on the atmosphere. Those parcels from rising, and they kind of have a lid that they're hitting. So they try to rise, but then they kind of hit this lid and they can't really get going. So if you're watching me from, our southeast counties, some question marks right now on how this is going to play out. You are still in the potential. You're not, you're not off the potential here for severe weather. It's just that it's some uncertainty right now on what's going to happen. We could see some outflow from these storms eventually as we go through the night that could sink southward. So that could put parts of Kentucky back into the game here for some storms. So I don't want to roll you guys out yet, but I just want to kind of let you all know what's going on right now. It looks like this area here along the Ohio River from Illinois to Indiana and throughout southern Indiana, southern Illinois. This is going to be kind of our prime area we're watching for the next several hours. Again, these will clip Kentucky from time to time as well. So along with that, we're going to have the potential for some flash flooding with these storms as they kind of train. You can already see what I'm talking about. So let's kind of loop the radar and look at how these storms have been setting up over the past few hours. You can already see how they're kind of lining up here. So you've got some counties, and I mentioned this yesterday, there would be some counties in our area that would see repeated rounds of storms over and over again. And you can see how some of these areas down into parts of Saline County, we've got Harrisburg here, into Williamson County, we've got Marion, Illinois, 7 into the south here towards Vienna and Johnson County, Illinois. It's kind of a zone here where we're seeing these repeated storms, and obviously you're going to have the potential for some very torrential rain setting up as those storms just kind of keep lining up over you. And we're still watching a storm, of course, over the Evansville area now. Again, we've got some broad rotation, but it does not have a warning at the very moment. But all evening long, this could change. Very good atmosphere here where this could try to get back going again with that rotation. So the rotation right now is very broad. Let's get to the velocity scan and see if we can. Again, right here, there would be certainly an indication of a little bit of rotation. This would be pushing towards Evansville right now. again, pretty much almost over you at this point. We don't have a warning for the storm at the moment. Let's get back to the base reflectivity. And again, pretty good hail signatures showing up, especially to the west and the northwest side of the city of Evansville. And we're going to watch this closely here because I don't want to roll out the potential warning. So you should always be aware of the potential that, just very suddenly this could go back to showing some good rotation. Warning could be issued kind of right on top of you at last minute. So it's always a concern here. So, we'll have to keep watching this storm because it has, it did have a good amount of rotation earlier when it was moving through parts of southeast Illinois. It pushed through parts of Gallatin County here. It really had some pretty good rotation in Saline County as well. I don't know whether it produced any damage or a tornado. I can't answer that yet, but it started to weaken. At least that rotation really started to decrease as it, and right now, still at this point, kind of the west side of town at this point is where the kind of part of the storm is that we've seen some off and on rotation with it. And otherwise, some heavy rain and large hail will be a possibility. So we'll have to watch this. Again, warnings can pop up very quickly. Still some pretty good storms. I'm going to watch the storm here into White County. This is southern White County. We've got southeast Hamilton County and northwest Gallatin County. A pretty decent storm here. Some small hail will be possible, but over the past several scans, you can see how that hail core is increasing now just south of North City, between North City and Omaha, Illinois. And this will be heading towards northern Posey County eventually in Indiana. So you're going to have additional storms coming your way. So you're going to be kind of in the thick of this for several hours as the storms just kind of line up here from Poseyville, Monty, North City. We've got Galatia. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Down into Marion, Voorheesville. You get the idea. They're kind of lining up over the same area. So we could see a flash flood warning being issued for that. Okay, let's go back to the storm now over those additional storms over Illinois, but let's kind of get back to where we need to focus. And again, this is a pretty potent hail core for right now. We have potential size hail. The radar just indicated a hail diameter potentially of about nearly over 1 inch in diameter over the city of Jasper. Nearly, let's see here. So this storm will be moving to the northeast. So a small town of Dubois here, which is locus 56, you're going to be seeing that heavy rain. The hail core here will be pushing into the small town of Dubois here shortly, in the Cusco, and even French Lick. You're also included in that warning. I know it's a it's a tourist town. We've got a lot of people that are visiting. May not be watching the weather, but if you're parked outside, it may not be a bad idea to cover it up or get it parked under a pavilion or somewhere where you could keep that car safe from getting any damage from hail, because this storm will have potential for some very large hailstones, greater than 1 inch in diameter. So look at that scan now. Just in, the radar indicating a hail diameter nearly 1 inch. This is a pretty good hail maker with this, pushing through the heart now. So watching me from Orange County, Indiana, and Dubois County, some pretty good hail with this storm and some pretty good winds as well. The warnings in place here from southwest Orange County throughout this, much of Dubois County. This does include down into Huntingburg as well on US 231 and down into Holland as well. And looking off to the west, we've still got some pretty good rainfall setting up, and additional storms will be kind of pushing your way over the coming hours. So looking at the warning, we've got that severe thunderstorm warning in place until 10:15 Central Time, or Eastern Time, I should say. Again, the potential is there for winds of 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. And the severe thunderstorm at the moment is located 13 miles west of Paoli. And again, it's moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So it's a very fast-moving storm as it pushes off to the northeast. Okay, so we've got those storms over Indiana that we've been talking about. And right now over Evansville, we've got very heavy rain and a potential for some hail with this storm, likely some small hail with this. Could see, I think, 3/4 of an inch in diameter size. If you're watching me from the north and northwest side of the town here in northwest Vanderburgh County, you're likely seeing some. There's been off and on rotation with this storm. If there is, it would be right in here. Let's get back to the velocity scans. Again, we're not going to get a really good picture. There is technically a little bit of broad rotation, but it's not enough for warning to be issued from the storm. So, again, that is some good news as it moves into the heart of the Evansville metro, because, think about this. If that rotation would have continued as it was, that could have been certainly a pretty scary picture for, the heart of the Evansville Metro. So that rotation decreased from what it was a little bit earlier. But we'll watch that storm because, that's not to say it can't flare back up. We'll have to watch that. And not only that, we'll have to watch these additional storms because each of these storms here severe pretty quickly over the coming, really the next few minutes, over the coming hours. I expect this activity to continue to increase. So let me show you what we have going on right now with the Storm Prediction Center. I didn't have this up here, but I'm going to go ahead and post it or take a look here. Let's go to the National Weather Service site and show you what we have going on. We have a flash flood watch in place for a good part of the area, especially our Indiana and Illinois counties, for the potential of very significant rainfall as we go into the nighttime hours tonight with these heavy storms. Let's get back to the home page here. I apologize, it's kind of slow loading. Let's just load for a second, but we do have a flash flood watch in place, generally along and north of the Ohio River right now. A new scan here. If I can get to load. I want to show you where we have the flash flood in place. Anyway, all the counties in the green are included in a flash flood warning or watch for tonight. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Potential is there for significant rainfall amounts, and especially along and north of the Ohio River. Again, it's looking like our Kentucky counties may be a little less, because of that cap holding in place. Those storms may stay to your north tonight. So we're looking more like along the Ohio River and northward, where the greatest concern may be setting up. But again, that's not to say parts of Kentucky can't get hit as well, because we do have a tornado watch in place for the Evansville metro area now. Let me get back to the map now. So let's see if I can get this up here. Computer's running really slow tonight, so I apologize. Let me go back to the radar real quickly again to show you where the storms are. Again, in the heart of the Evansville area, seeing that heavy rain, lightning, and some hail pushing through. Could see hail about 3/4 of an inch diameter around Melody Hill. They're in Highland, Darmstadt right now. Seeing some pretty good hail there along Interstate 69. There, pushing into northern Vanderbilt County. Wouldn't be a very pleasant drive at this moment with that very heavy rain. And a good hail course showing up here in Indiana. This is Dubois County. We've got Jasper to your east now. So now pretty much over the city of Dubois, or the town of Dubois. I guess it's technically not a city. I don't know. It's a pretty small town. But anyway, we've got hail core almost 1.5 inches in diameter. So this is a pretty significant hail core. And this storm is going to be having potential for some damaging hail and perhaps some damaging wind. And this is heading towards areas like French Lick. So if you're watching me from French Lick, Indiana right now, you've got a pretty good hail storm heading your way. So just please be on the lookout for this very shortly. And it's moving very quickly your way next 15 minutes or so. And looking at the rest of the area, we have that the sky of southwest Indiana. Again, Evansville still seeing that heavy rain, some small hail with this. Poseyville, you're seeing some pretty good rain, some small hail. Down into North City, there in southwest White County, you've got some off and on storms. Additional storms off to the southwest. And let me get to the Storm Prediction Center real quickly. I want to show you guys, we have a tornado watch that does include the Evansville Metro. I'm going to try to get this up here. Again, I want to quickly differentiate between a watch and a warning. Remember, a watch just means conditions are favorable. And then the warning means that we have a tornado being imminent or occurring. So looking at the new map from the Storm Prediction Center, just downgraded just slightly to a slight risk now for the rest of this evening and overnight. Again, we were under enhanced risk. We're now down just slightly to a slight risk. So at least that's a touch of good news. That doesn't mean we're not going to see severe weather, because we certainly are. And looking at that tornado threat, we've still got a 5% tornado risk tonight along the Ohio River, and even points to the south as well. So I want to keep that in mind. Even our Kentucky counties aren't seeing those storms right now. You are not out of the woods by any means. So I want to stress that. We can still get some outflow from those storms to your north that could help to create a good setup here for additional storms to develop for you guys. So you guys are not out of the woods yet. So just because you're seeing no storms I don't want you to go to bed thinking, you're in the clear. I don't want to leave that message, because we still have the potential for all modes of severe weather there, including that tornado threat. The wind threat still about 15% within a 25 miles of a given point. We've got about a 15% risk here for large hail. The good news is the greatest significant hail threat did shift a little bit over the new update. We now have the greatest severe hail risk over parts of southwest Missouri and Oklahoma and parts of northwest Arkansas. So that is at least a piece of good news right now, that the hail threat is very high, obviously, but it's not quite to the to the criteria it was a little bit earlier. So that's a touch of good news. But I want to show you where the current watches are right now, because we have a tornado watch in place for the Evansville area now. Again, this just means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. It doesn't mean we're seeing a tornado. It just means conditions in the atmosphere are going to be favorable for additional rotating storms over the coming hours. So this red box here, we have those storms over Evansville right now, moving off into parts of Dubois County, Orange County, Indiana as well. You guys are also included in this tornado warning. So most of our southern Indiana counties along the Ohio River, Tell City, Indiana, down into to the east towards Corydon, Indiana, even Louisville. You guys are all included in this tornado watch for tonight. This will be in effect until 1 o'clock a.m. So we're going to have to watch this area really closely for some rotating thunderstorms. And again, we're all under the risk for severe weather, but this is kind of the prime area we're watching for some rotating storm potential as we head through the next several hours. So again, that storm we're watching right now over Evansville, we'll have to keep an eye on the close, again, rotation, try to increase again, as it pushes off to the east. Things can change pretty quickly. That is certainly something we have to keep in mind. And again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. The only active warning at the moment is across Dubois County, Indiana, and Orange County, Indiana. So we had a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like a new update here. I'm going to warn you now. Let's see. This is now until 10:45. Again, we have northwest portion of Crawford County. Looks like English. This might go just to your north here. This is okay. I actually there. I forget which highway that is. But anyway, from English up to Paola, you've got with this thunderstorm. And this does include a good portion of Orange County now. So French Lick, eastward along 56 and 150 into Paoli. We've got potential for a large hail storm heading your way. Right now, the core of that hail is in the eastern part of Dubois County. This will be heading to the east zone in Orange County very shortly. So get that car parked in a garage if you can. If you have your car outside, if you can't put it in a garage, sometimes you just have to think and, put a tarp over your car, or maybe even your floor mats, anything that you could do to possibly prevent a little bit of damage from hail would be a good thing to do for safety measures. But anyway, back to Evansville, we had some pretty heavy rain push through. Probably a lot of lightning and some small hail. The storm is starting to push off to the east now, but we have additional storms on the radar across to your west, to northern Posey County, Gadsden County. You're seeing some heavy rain, some small hail at the moment, and off to the west over Illinois. Storms still lining up here. We don't have any active warnings, but this could be producing some hail and very gusty winds. Again, right now it's real limits, but these storms, especially over southeast Missouri, they're starting to show a little more amp up here over the last few radar scans. So as this pushes to the northeast, Southern Illinois counties are going to be in play for increased severe weather potential over the next several hours. So we may actually see an additional watch try to get issued here in this zone. But again, right now, we do have that tornado watch again for the Evansville metro area and all of our southern parts of Indiana, here in our southern Indiana counties, along the Ohio River. Kentucky, well, you're also included in that tornado watch. So let's go back to the tornado watch. We also have Owensboro. I want to mention that. We also have Owensboro. Henderson are also included in a tornado watch. Again, this is just a watch, not a warning. This means conditions are favorable for thunderstorms to produce rotation and to possibly produce tornadoes. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on over the coming hours. This watch will be in place until 2 a.m. Central, or excuse me, 1 a.m. Central Time, 2 a.m. Eastern Time, I should say. Confused there, but anyway, going back to the radar again, what we have going on right now We have this train of thunderstorms here from, Paola, Indiana, down to Jasper, throughout south, getting hit pretty good with some pretty good heavy storms. And a little bit earlier, we did have rotation with that storm as it pushed through Gallatin County and into Posey County. Again, that rotation did diminish as it pushed into Evansville. That is some good news because that track would have put it right through downtown Evansville. So that's pretty concerning, to think if that rotation would have continued as it was. But thankfully, that rotation did become a lot more broad and it kind of weakened for now. But again, it's still a storm we have to watch. On the southern flank of this line, we've got so much moisture streaming in here. That inflow is just unimpeded. When you've got a lot of moisture like we have, we've got dew points that are approaching 70 degrees. And what that will do is you're getting some lower cloud base. You're able to form those closer to the ground. And it's obviously that's when you can get an easier likelihood for a funnel that's produced to be able to actually touch down to the ground level and interact with the ground. And you're producing a tornado. So looking at the new radar scans, kind of get a look at the latest transfer we have going on. I will say this: we got a couple of cells just trying to develop here from into looks like parts of eastern Hardin County. We have some cells trying to get going. Again, we'll have to see if these can quickly kind of change course and go severe, because it's such a kind of a primed atmosphere at the moment. And I believe the radar site in Evansville is still down, so we're actually using the. Looks like my voice is kind of messed up. Let me see if my voice is kind of sluggish at the moment on this broadcast. So I may have to stop it for the moment. We'll see if that. Okay, so again, I hope my voice is still kind of working here. I know that I'm getting reports that it's kind of sounding like a robot. But anyway, we'll see. Look at the future radar. And I want to give you guys a look at what to expect throughout the rest of the evening and overnight hours. So we have this flash flood watch in place throughout the weekend. We're going to have numerous round of thunderstorms with the potential of heavy rain. We have a tornado watch in place this evening through 1 a.m. Central, where Evansville and Owensboro. This does go up to Petersburg, even up to Vincennes. Or excuse me, Vincennes, you're technically not included. Let me be clear of that. And all of our southern Indiana counties, basically south of Davies, Knox, and Martin counties, you're included in this tornado watch until 1 a.m. Central. So, again, I may have to stop the feed real shortly so I can get the voice problem fixed, and I'll be right back. Let's see.